Do you think that some seeds are better than others? Or did you know that some seeds are better than others? Today I wanted to talk to you about the different types of seeds that you can choose to buy and discuss if one actually is better than another one. And so today I want to talk to you about untreated seeds, organic, open pollinated, heirloom, hybrid, and GMO seeds. So let's get into today's video. What is up? My name is Bree from Urban Gardening Canada and I garden in Ottawa Zone 5. This is an important topic to me that I like to talk about, is if one seed is possibly better than another and if there's a certain one that we should be buying instead of other ones. So I am going to put timestamps below for you so you can check them out there and jump to what's the most important to you. So I wanted to start first with the definitions on what these 6 different seeds are. That way we are all on the same page with each other so you really can understand what these different seeds mean. So the first is GMO or non-GMO seeds, and I always want to start with this one because it is a hot topic for a lot of people. And so GMO seeds are genetically modified seeds, and you'll see a lot of seed companies will have non-GMO written on their seed packet. And the question is this something that you even need to worry about? And the answer to that is no. And that's because GMO seeds are not allowed to be sold to consumers or hobby gardeners like us. And so what GMO seeds are genetically modified, and they are owned and patented by major corporations. So that is like your Bayer or Monsanto. And so these seeds are created by these companies, therefore they own them. And what they do is they're genetically modifying them so that they react in a certain way. And so that means that there are seeds that don't react to glyphosate, and that is the biggest type of GMO seed. And so this means that farmers buy these seeds, plant them, can spray glyphosate, and the glyphosate will kill everything around them, but it won't kill that specific crop that they're growing. And so that is why you can't be buying them, is because they're owned by a company. And so there's a lot of stories out there that farmers who plant these GMO seeds, if the seed of that crop blows away in the wind and plants in another farmer's field who doesn't buy GMO seeds, there's a potential that they can get in trouble because they are growing seeds that are owned by a company that they didn't pay for. And this is why you can't buy them as a hobby gardener, because there's no control over if you've saved those seeds, gave them away, plant them, don't plant them. And so GMO seeds are not, at the time of filming this, allowed to be sold to hobby gardeners or through retail shops. So the second seed is hybrid seeds, and these kind of sound a little bit the same as GMO seeds, but they're not quite, and that is that they are hybridized, where they take 2 parent plants and you pollinate them together to create a new hybrid plant. And so this is to take the best features of 2 different plants, grow them together, and then create a seed that is resistant to a pest and a disease or has a longer shelf life. So it all just depends on what the hybridization is looking for. And so this is another type of seed, but this one you can get on the market, and either your seed packet will call it a hybrid or it'll list it as an F1, because F1 is the most common type of hybrid seed on the market, which just means it's the first year of its hybridization. The third option is heirloom seeds. And so heirloom seeds are seeds that have a history, so it's passed down from generation to generation, family members, anything like that, where the seed variety is documented, so it came from this year, from this family, from this country, and that is what makes it an heirloom variety. Next up is open pollinated seeds, and open pollinated seeds are seeds that have been grown outside and they've been pollinated by bees or insects and are just more a genetically diverse type of seed. And these seeds can be seed saved from because they've been pollinated the way that you naturally would. The next up is untreated seeds. And untreated seeds are seeds that have been grown without the use of any pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides. So they've been grown in a natural way, or in, you could say, an organic method where they just haven't been treated with any chemicals. Which brings me to the last one, which is organic seeds. And organic seeds are the same as untreated seeds, except for they are under the certification of being organic, which means that this farm has chosen to be certified by the organic standards and has to follow the standards set out by the organic industry. So I'm not sure if you've noticed, but seeds have gotten quite expensive this year. It's not unlikely to see a seed packet selling for anywhere $5, $6, $7 in Canada, so Canadian dollars. And this is happening for a number of different reasons. And so this plays into why it matters what type of seeds you buy. So just hang in with me here. And so seeds have started to get more expensive because of a multitude of reasons, including inflation, and the cost of living is going up. And so these farmers obviously have to increase their prices in order to cover their cost of living. Not to mention climate change is intensifying, which is making it so much harder for farmers to be able to have solid harvests without losing them to erratic weather. But then there's other issues where we're seeing a lot of unrest around the world, and so supply chains are starting to get disrupted because of this unrest that is happening. And not just supply chains, but supplies themselves. So for example, a few years ago during the Ukraine and Russian war, Russia actually destroyed Ukraine's seed collection, and that was the 10th largest seed collection in the world. So that means that we've lost a lot of diversity, but they didn't just collect the seeds for a future Armageddon that's happening, but they actually use this seed collection to distribute and sell seeds to other countries. So when we're experiencing unrest around the world, or there's a war happening between countries, they oftentimes target food supplies. And in this case, they targeted a food supplied through seeds. And so all of this means that seeds are going to get more expensive, but they're also going to be harder to come by. And so that's why it matters so much on which type of seeds that you are going to choose to buy and grow. As long as we don't know what the future holds, it's really important for you to have the skill set and the knowledge and the right seeds that you can take care of growing your own garden and saving your own seeds for future years, because we honestly just don't know what's coming up next. So this leads me to which seeds are the best for you to buy and grow. And so based off of the 6 that I listed, we can already take out GMO because you don't have to worry about that right now. And so the answer to that in terms of seed saving and food security is to buy open pollinated seeds. It's important that you do this because this is where you can save your seeds from. And just to be clear, heirloom seeds are open pollinated seeds. So if you are buying anything that's labeled open pollinated or heirloom, that means you can save seeds from it. And so this is really important because if you are buying seeds such as hybrid seeds, you can't save seeds from those. So skip the hybrid seeds. Don't buy those anymore, especially if you want to make sure that you can save seeds for the future. And once you have a good collection of your own seeds that you have saved from, then you can supplement with some hybrid seeds here and there if you want to try new varieties, but just make sure that you have a really solid base of your own seed saved or open pollinated seeds. But I do want to take it one step further and talk about untreated or organic seeds. This is a really important feature to have in your seeds. When farmers are growing seeds in a conventional way, it's actually extremely harmful on the planet. Pesticides are made from the oil and gas industry, which means that there are tons of greenhouse gas emissions that are coming out of the plants while they're producing these chemicals. And there's new studies suggesting that there's even microplastics being added into these chemicals to help them stay on the plants longer, which means we now have harmful chemicals in our soil and killing our pollinators and wildlife, but there's also microplastics being added to it on top of it, which is a really concerning addition to the industry. So what happens with conventional seeds is because they're grown in these conventional manners, these pesticides are being sprayed on the plants. So even if you're choosing to grow organic at home, before you even get access to those seeds, there's all of these chemicals that are poisoning our waterways, they're damaging the soil, and this means that there are long-term consequences to our growing soil that we're going to need in the future if we're also going to be growing food on these plots of land in the future or even future seeds. And not only that, it harms the wildlife because these sprays will kill anything, bees, butterflies, not just bad insects. And then when birds or other animals are eating these insects, it's poisoning them up the food chain as well. So the damage continues to grow further. Not only that, but these pesticides are really dangerous to anyone who's working on a farm, especially if they're not provided the proper PPE or training. And so there are human consequences to buying conventional seeds. And finally, these chemicals do go into our waterways and can poison our water. So there's just so many reasons to choose organic or untreated seeds over the conventional type of seeds. And if you're the type of person who doesn't trust organic certification or feels that there's a lot of issues in the organic world, just choose to go with a smaller seed company that is choosing to call them untreated and isn't getting that certification, because untreated seeds are the same just without that certification. So there's a lot of small businesses that you can still choose to support, whether you agree with that organic certification or not. If this topic is interesting to you and you are curious about organic growing, untreated growing, or just growing with a lighter footprint on the planet, this is actually a small portion of one of my modules in my new course called Adapt and Thrive: Gardening in a Changing Climate. And I go into this way further with way more data and specifics on how you can grow in a more sustainable manner. And so if this was something that piqued your interest, I highly recommend checking out my new course. I'll put it in the link below so you can check it out there. And inside this course, I have over 100 tips that you can learn about and take into your garden. I have checklists, workbooks, and all these other extra materials that you can be taking with you in the garden that help you solidify what you've learned in each of the modules. There's videos and quizzes. It's actually quite a comprehensive course to teach you how you can grow more sustainably from the minute you plant the seed until the minute you're saving seed from that garden. And not only that, but it's also teaching you how to build a stronger garden so that way you can help battle the effects of climate change, whether it's drought or heavy rains. This course is meant to teach you how to set up your garden early on in the springtime so that way it has strength to withstand all of these weather experiences that you're having. I've had people test this course in Canada, the US, the Netherlands, all the way to New Zealand. And so I know that this course will perform well for you, even if you're not in Canada. So don't be fooled by me being in Canada here, but I highly recommend this new course. And again, you can check it out at the link below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out this next video here. Bye.